Hello everyone, I'm Nathalia back again with another Awaken Chaos Era video. So in today's video, I'll be showing you another Magisteria team that you can use to farm the Helmet Stage 3 as well as the Helmet Stage 4. And this time I'll be showcasing Pluto, who was newly introduced in the game, and he specializes in speedrunning the Magisteria dungeons. And currently I do not have Pluto on my account, hence I borrowed Ebola Zombies account in order to showcase his capabilities. And since he haven't completed the Helmet Stage 3 as well as the Helmet Stage 4, I've created a team for him using Pluto to clear that dungeon. Do check out my previous video on the Magisteria Helmet Stage 3 as well as the Helmet Stage 4 using different heroes, because I also covered some basic fundamentals information about the boss as well as the AI, the target party on the enemies. Alright, so let's head over to the Arcane Dominator. And these are the Helmet Stage 3 and 4. So let me quickly go through the differences between these dungeons versus Helmet Stage 3 as well as the Helmet Stage 4 versus the Helmet Stage 1 and 2. So basically these two stages, right? The enemy fire imps have a unique ability, passive ability known as the Fury Rebirth. So once you nuke down the fire imp, they'll be revived with 30% max health. So for this case, right, you need a second damage dealer to clear off the fire imps around the fire boss. And apart from that, the boss AI targeting for the bomb, right, he will always place on the enemy with the highest max health. And then not only that, the Ace developers also made some changes to the fire imp on the first and second wave. They will always target the weakest affinity, followed by neutral affinity, and then the strong affinity. So that basically covers the differences between Helmet Stage 3-4 versus Helmet Stage 1 and 2. And apart from that, Helmet Stage 3 and 4 will drop Favored Gears. As you notice here, Favored Gears will have additional Favored stats. Alright, so let me skip the formation to show you the hero selection as well as the spells that I'll be using to clear the Helmet Stage 4. And this one can be also used for Helmet Stage 3 as well. Alright, so in this squad, I have Flarence, Joseph, Pluto, and Nathalia, and the spells that I have selected are Sundering Purgatory to apply the AoE defense down, to make it easy for my damage dealer to clear off the fire imps on the first wave, as well as dealing massive amount of damage to the boss. And apart from that, Gaia's Renewal is a supplementary healing in case my healer isn't able to heal on time. So let me quickly go through the roles of each hero to give you an overview of what are the responsibilities of each of these heroes in this squad. So Flarence is the first hero to go first in the team. She's there to apply her healing as well as AoE bonus attack, and she's a capable healer. I've equipped her in a Fate set, so whenever she performs her healing is converted to a 50% shield. So all of my heroes will have a shield upon receiving healing from Flarence. And this shield is really important to mitigate the damage from the health to the shield, so that my squishy heroes such as like Pluto and Flarence will be able to survive longer in the battlefield. And not only that, Flarence has a unique trait where whenever my damage dealers perform 2 basic ability attacks, the third basic ability will perform AoE splash damage, which is crucial in order to wipe out the fire imps. And the second hero that goes second on the team will be Joseph. He's there to provide debuff cleansing to remove the bomb debuff that's placed by the boss. And apart from that, he's there to apply the attack up buff to improve my damage dealer's output, and defense up buff to increase the survivability of all my heroes. And not only that, Joseph is also capable of applying the speed up buff through his basic ability to the highest attack stats hero, which is Nathalia. So every positive effect she has, it will improve her damage output by 10% up to a maximum of 40%. So every positive effect increases her damage output by 10%, which is really powerful. And then Pluto will go third on the team. He's there as a support damage dealer to wipe off the fire imps around the boss, and also reduce the enemy's health low enough so that Nathalia can perform the finishing kill. And last but not least, I have Nathalia here. She's my primary damage dealer to clear off the fire imps on the first and second wave, and also deal massive amount of damage to the boss. Alright, so let's see this team in action. Alright, so at the start of the battle, Flarence will go first to apply the Sundering Purgatory, followed by her AoE increased damage taken, and then Joseph will buff up everyone, the attack up buff, and then Pluto will perform his ultimate, followed by Nathalia to perform the finishing kill. Alright, and moving on to the second wave, Flarence and Joseph will do their basic ability, and when Nathalia receives the speed up buff, she will go before Pluto. And there's a chance where this fire imp will apply the the Ignite debuff on Flarence, and this will cause Joseph to cleanse it away. So it's really important to build Flarence in high resistance, at least 140% for Helm Stage 4. And then also gear her in the guard set so that she will not trigger the Guy's renewal on the second wave. So on the boss wave, right, you will cast this AoE damage taken, which is really important, so that it allows Pluto to deal sufficient damage to these enemies. And the bonus attack from Flarence will help to clear up all these fire imps around the boss. Alright, as you notice there, Pluto cast the Unhealable, so the boss wasn't able to heal himself whenever he performed the spinning skill animation there. Okay, now Pluto applies the damage down debuff, which reduces the damage output of the boss by 30%, and also the Unhealable to prevent him from healing himself. This will help to speed up the run even faster. Okay, as you notice, Joseph gave the speed up buff to Nathalia, so she can deal more damage there. Alright, so with the help of Joseph bonus turn, it makes Flarence's ultimate ability ready on the boss wave whenever he performs the summoning. And the cool unique thing about Pluto is he's able to gain a bonus attack there to defeat all of the enemies. Pluto has a unique trait where whenever he attacks the enemy where there's more than 4 enemies on the battlefield, he'll be able to do massive amount of damage there, which is crucial for this Ash Magisteria. It's built for this Ash Magisteria speed running this dungeon. If you are able to build your heroes with high amount of damage with level 70 Pluto and Nathalia, you might be able to clear this dungeon within 8 or 9 rounds. Or maximum 10 rounds if you're not able to deal sufficient damage to the boss. Alright, so the boss will summon his fire imps here. I think Nathalia will be able to finish off these enemies if you're able to fully book her with the mastery books. Alright, so the battle has ended, so let's check out the battle result. Alright, so the time it took to clear these enemies is around about 3 minutes or 2 minutes and 57 seconds for this particular battle. And the total time it took me to run 10 battles is around about 30 minutes or close to 30 to 31 minutes because there's a transition timing as well. Alright, so let me quickly go through the heroes' stats and gears so you have an idea on how to replicate this team on your account. So you can start farming the fabled gears on Helm Stage 3 as well as the Helm Stage 4 using this team composition. Flarence is the first hero that goes first in the team. So here are her total stats. She has around about 18,688 health, 203 speed, close to 100% focus and 143% resistance. So the most important thing about her stats is she needs to go first. So 200 speed will be sufficient. But this one depends on how fast your second support hero goes as well. So later I'll talk more about that during the Joseph turn. So I have her 200 speed, but the most important stat for her would be the resistance. She needs to have a very high amount of resistance. I've tested around about 110, 120 and 130. It does not work for Helm Stage 4 because the fire imp on the second wave, right, is capable of applying the Ignite debuff, which causes Joseph to cleanse away that Ignite and also giving bonus turn to Flarence, which mess up the ultimate turn order. So in order to prevent that, I've given her around 143% resistance. And I think focus is not necessarily needs to be this high because I think based from my observation, the enemies on the Helm Stage 3 and 4, right, they do not have much resistance. Because I think my Pluto has around about 60 to 70% focus and was able to apply his debuff like Unhealable as well as the damage down. So the most important step for Flarence is resistance, speed, and then some focus to apply the defense down, and then focus on her health and defense. Alright, so let me go through Flarence's gears. So currently I'm gearing her in a Fate's guard set to grant her a shield equals to 30% of her max health for 3 turns at the start of the battle, and also a Fate set to convert 50% of the healing amount into shield for 2 turns. So in order to build a larger shield, right, you need to have a lot of health percentage stats on her so that she can maximize her fate set. And the gut set is really important for her is because that the Fire Imp on the second wave deals high amount of damage to Flarence, which causes her to trigger the Guy's Renewal spell. And I want to prevent that. I want her to use the Guy's Renewal on the boss wave instead. So that whenever the boss performs a high amount of AoE nuke damage, Guy's Renewal can help to mitigate some of the damage there. So that's why I gear her in the Gut set and Fate set. And Fate set is quite useful because it also provides a shield buff on Nathalia so that she can deal extra damage to the boss or to the enemies. Alright, so let's quickly go through the gears for Flarence. So the first gear I have is the Fate Scepter. And the subsets that I have here is Resistance, Focus, Speed, and Attack. Ideally, this attack should be like health percentage or defense. And it has a Fable stat here. And let's quickly take a look on this stat. So Tenacious version 5 gave around about 12% additional health, which is quite good. And next is her helmet, which have some precision, resistance, focus, and defense. Ideally, this precision should be a health percentage substats for more health, so that she can perform a larger shield and heal. And then we have the chest plate with some critical damage, focus, attack, agility. This one is not a really good gear. I hope I'll be able to replace it with something better that provide resistance, focus, health, and defense stats for Flarence. And then we have a speed boots with some focus, attack, resistance, and agility. Agility and attack is not useful for her. The most important thing will be the 4 primary stats, which are health, defense, focus, and resistance. And then we have the defense ring with some health and focus. Critical damage is useless for her because she's not a damage dealer. And then finally we have a health necklace with a triple roll and resistance, health, focus, and critical damage. Her glyphs and abilities are all maxed out, and she does not have any mastery books on her yet. I don't think it's necessary, but you can level up her to level 70 to improve her health and defense and speed, in case if you want to speed tune her and give her more survivability for the Magisteria in case if your gears are not strong enough. And currently she does not have any ascension, but it's quite good to have one ascension on her to improve her basic health and also some speed. Alright, so that's basically it for Flarence. Let's move on to the second hero on the team, who is Joseph. Alright, so this is Joseph. He goes second in the team. Here are his total stats. He has around about 15,000 health, 1,000 fire defense, 159 speed, and close to 80% focus. You do not need him to be very high speed because this will make him outspeed Flarence, because Flarence is around about 200 speed. And the reason why I made him with lower speed is because he has a unique trait known as the experience. And once he's ascended to 5th ascension, he gains 20% speed. So what does 20% speed means is basically his total speed, which is 159, is multiplied by 120%, which gives him a close to 191 speed. And this speed alone, right, ensures that he is not outsped by Nathalia. Because currently I built Nathalia at 160 speed, and if she gains the bonus speed buff from Joseph, her speed will reach up to 190 speed. However, my Joseph is 191 speed. So this allows Joseph to always go before Nathalia to apply the buff before Nathalia can perform her attacks. Alright, so that's basically his stats here. And let's check out his gears. So currently I'm gearing him in a revival set as well as guard set, since I do not want to invest too much resources on him to be level 60. Revival set is quite useful to replenish his health for every turn. And guard set is just a additional support to provide a shield to mitigate some of the damage during the first nuke from the enemies. Alright, so let's quickly go through the gears. So this is Joseph's weapon. It has some defense, health, and resistance. And then we have the helmet with some focus, health, and defense. We have the chest plate with some defense, focus, and health. So as you notice, right, there's a trend where I just focus on 4 primary stats: health, focus, defense, and maybe like some speed. But I do not want too much speed on him. So ideally, this one could be like resistance or agility. And then we have a health boots with some defense, triple roll and speed, and plus stats health. And we have a defense ring with some precision, health, and critical damage. This one is like a placeholder item. Ideally, this one should be health percentage and something that can boost up his survivability, maybe like resistance or focus stats there. And last but not least, we have a health necklace that provides some focus substats, defense, and agility. Attack is not so useful for him, but it can help him to deal some damage to the boss. He's fully glyphed out as well as his abilities are not all maxed out. You just need to max out his ultimate ability, the improvisation to bring down the cooldown to 4 turns, and also his inspiration to 2 turns cooldown. You do not need to max out his basic attack because he's not really a damage dealer. And you do not need to invest any mastery books on him. For this one, he has 2 books on him. I think the mastery books is invested by Ebola, maybe for some reasons. But actually, you do not need any mastery books on him. Alright. Yeah, so that's basically it for Joseph. Let's move on to the third hero on the team, who is Pluto. Alright, so this is Pluto. He goes third on the team. He's very fancy workmanship. Alright, so let's check out his total stats. So he has around about close to 4,500 attack, 100% critical rate, 230% critical damage, and 172 speed. His speed to go third in the team. And ideally, I think if you're able to get one ascension on him, right, you will raise his attack around about 500. So you make it close to 5,000 attack. And then, yeah, and you need some focus on him to apply the unhealable and the damage down. The other stats is not really matter, but if you can get some health and defense on him, it will be better because he's pretty squishy. Alright, so let's check out his gears. So currently I'm gearing him in a radius set as well as an average set. Radius set boosts up his speed by 15, and every set allows him to deal 50% more bonus damage whenever he performs his ultimate ability attack. Alright, so let's quickly go through the gears. So this is the weapon with some critical damage, attack and speed. Resistance is not useful for him. And this is the helmet with some focus, critical rate, critical damage. And then we have the chest plate with some critical damage and critical rate. Ideally, this resistance should be focus and agility should be attack. And then we have attack boots with some double roll and speed, some critical rate and critical damage. And then we have a critical rate ring with some speed, attack, and focus. This precision should be a critical damage stats. And finally, we have an attack necklace that provides speed, critical rate, attack, and focus. He's currently fully glyphed as well as max abilities. He does not have any mastery books on him. If you invest some mastery books on him, he'll be able to do more damage with this critical damage, and also have additional critical rate from the ability and more damage output from the gears. Alright, so that's basically it for Pluto. Let's move on to the last and final hero on the team, who is Nathalia. Alright, so this is Nathalia. She goes 4th on the team. Here are her total stats. She has around about 6,600 attack, 160 speed, 100% critical rate, 340% critical damage. You do not need focus resistance on her. Ideally, you should have some higher health on her so that her guard set will be able to produce a larger shield to protect herself. And these are her gears. Currently, I'm gearing her in a guard set, warrior set, and raider set. Guard set is to provide the shield, warrior set is to provide 15% attack, and raider set is to provide 15 speed. Let's quickly go through the gears here. So this is the weapon with some critical damage, speed, critical rate. Resistance should be replaced with an attack percentage for more damage output. And then this is the helmet with an attack, critical rate, and critical damage. Ideally, this one should be attack percentage rather than plus stats attack. And next we have the chest plate with some attack percentage, critical damage, and critical rate. This is attack boots with some critical damage, critical rate, and speed. And this is an attack ring. You can either switch with a critical damage ring or attack ring depending on the gears you have on your account. So this ring has a critical damage and critical rate. And last but not least, we have an attack necklace with a double roll and critical damage, single roll and critical rate, and some health percentage. She is currently fully glyphed out as well as her abilities. And the most important thing is to have her with full mastery books in order for her to deal high amount of damage to the boss, because she's the main primary damage dealer to nuke out all the enemies from the first wave, second wave, and the boss wave. So this physics mastery will provide additional 20% critical damage as well as additional attack based from her speed. And then for her abilities, it will raise her critical rate by 23% and also reduces the cooldown of her abilities so that she will be able to perform her ultimate ability more frequent during the boss wave. And then for her gears, it will also increases the farming damage for her feet, neck and hands by 30% and up to 45% for the weapon head and chest. Alright, so that's basically it for Nathalia on her gearing and stats. Alright, so that's the end of this video of me covering how to set up this team using Flarence, Joseph, Pluto as well as Nathalia to speed farm the Helm Stage 3 as well as the Helm Stage 4. If you have any questions regarding on this team setup or if you have any issues setting up this team on your account, you leave a comment below and I'll try to help you out on resolving those issues. And if you're new to my channel, you can click on the subscribe button and also ring the notification bell to stay up to date whenever I upload a new video on this channel. And if you'd like to support my work, you can donate to my PayPal account. I have a link under the video description below, or you can become a monthly subscriber by becoming a patron at my site at patreon.com/Ayumilove. If you'd like to learn more about this game, about Awaken Chaos Era, I have a website at ayumilove.net where I post some guides on all of the heroes there. Alright, so that's basically it. Thanks for watching and I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye!